off a pound best fighter in the sport of boxing right now. It's good to see him in this position. In the position.
When asked how he sees the fight unfolding, he confidently stated that Tank will take the win, and do it with ease. He explained that in boxing, size has never been more important than skill. If a fighter has strong defense and sharp technique, it's nearly impossible to break through. He reminded everyone that even Tank's brother couldn't touch him, despite coming forward aggressively.
It's similar to Logan versus Mayweather, but Jake Paul now obviously is way more advanced than where Logan was.
Calvin Ford, who's been guiding Tank since the very beginning, isn't the least bit worried about this matchup. He's seen Tank handle much bigger opponents in the gym for years, so Jake Paul's size doesn't concern him. The only thing Ford keeps stressing before this fight is the gloves. He doesn't want Tank using those big 12-ounce training gloves. Those are for sparring, not for fighting. Ford insists Tank should wear 8-ounce gloves while Jake wears 10s, keeping things fair and making it feel like a real fight instead of a practice session. He's even spoken with members of Jake's team about it, but they weren't open to mixing glove sizes. To Ford, that's fine, but he believes if Jake truly wants to prove himself, he needs to stop hiding behind exhibition rules. As Ford put it, let him wear the 10s, we'll wear the 8s, then we've got ourselves a real fight.
I think it's going to be a great event. Every time I fight is fireworks. Jake Paul coming in, you know, he's much bigger, he's much stronger.
When it comes to the weight difference, both Floyd and Calvin Ford have shrugged it off like it's no big deal. Jake might be walking around at 190 or 195, just a few pounds heavier than what was first agreed, but Ford didn't flinch. We signed the contract. We're gonna make it do what it do, he said. That's always been Tank's mentality. It doesn't matter who's bigger, taller, or talks louder. Once that first punch connects, the ring suddenly feels a lot smaller. Still, one topic that keeps circling around Tank's camp is his decision to hold off on a potential rematch with Roach.
Only concern is, the gloves. You understand what I'm saying? Because we don't fight in 12-ounce gloves. We don't use 12-ounce gloves. That's training gloves, you know what I'm saying? I'm like, that's 2 pounds of weight.
Calvin Ford brushed off the criticism with confidence, saying, Tank makes people famous. In his eyes, Roach wasn't even on the radar before their fight. To Ford, all that talk about ducking or avoiding rematches is just noise. He believes that if any of the top fighters were offered the same deal Tank got, they'd have taken it in a heartbeat. Ford isn't letting anyone guilt trip his fighter for securing the bag. At the end of the day, this is boxing, and business always comes first.
Paul brings something to media and to boxing. You cannot miss a fight. I like it, baby. I like the drama it's bringing, I'll be honest.
But nobody really cares about this fight.
Yeah, are you going to watch it?
Yeah, of course. That's how it's going to go. Nobody really cares, but everybody's going to watch it. Like,
he said, nobody cares about
Bro, you can't be mad at somebody for doing what they feel is best for them.
Will it impact Tank's legacy if Jake Paul were to beat him or even knock him out?
Dude, Tank's a 3-division world champion, 4-time 3-division world champion. At the end of it, bro, you can't take anything away from.
Meanwhile, Floyd's presence in camp has completely shifted the atmosphere. You can feel it the moment he walks in. The energy changes. He moves around the gym, offering quiet advice, reminding Tank to stay calm, stay smart, and do what he does best: break opponents down with timing and precision. Floyd keeps repeating one of his signature lessons: size doesn't win fights. Skills do, and he's living proof of that. Throughout his career, he faced men bigger and stronger, yet made them miss all night long. That's the exact mindset he's now passing on to Tank.
I believe that this is a mismatch, and I believe that Jake Paul will knock Tank Davis out, maybe in the 3rd, maybe in the 4th round. Tank will try to move, he will try to stick and move. It's not gonna work out for him, and he will eventually get knocked out.
It's almost surreal seeing Floyd and Calvin back working together after everything that's happened between Floyd and Tank over the past few years. But at the same time, it just feels right. These are the two men who helped shape Tank into the fighter he is today. A complete athlete with knockout power in both hands and the calmness to control it. They've had their differences, sure, but in the end, it all comes down to respect and legacy. Floyd knows the young fighter he once mentored has grown into a global superstar. And despite their past clashes, there's no denying he still wants to see Tank shine.
He was talking about fighting Joshua, which is heavyweight, and now he's saying about fighting Tank. Nah, this can't be. It's Netflix as well. I need to go and do some checks and see if like the main pages are posted this, but Jake Paul's posted it. It says Friday, November 14th. It's in Atlanta.
Growing number of pros are starting to see exactly what Floyd and Calvin Ford have been saying all along. Sure, Jake Paul's size might stand out, but when it comes down to pure ability, Gervonta Tank Davis is simply the better fighter in every way that counts. The weight difference might look wild on paper, but anyone who's spent real time inside a boxing gym knows what happens when raw size goes up against true skill and ring IQ, and that's the reality everyone's paying attention to right now.
Tank Davis or Jake Paul? So, immediately, yeah, the normal layman would say, oh, Tank Davis is better. But better at what? Is he better at selling tickets? Is he better at selling stadiums out? Is he better at creating controversy? Is he better at getting followed on Instagram? Is he better at putting more eyeballs on the boxing? Is he better than him at that? The answer would be no. But is he better at him in a fight? It has to be really, you have to break it down.
Legendary trainer Teddy Atlas recently shared his thoughts on the matchup, and he didn't hold back. Speaking on his YouTube channel, Atlas pointed out that the first thing that jumps out when you see Tank and Jake side by side is the size difference. It's impossible to miss. There's nearly an 8-inch gap in height, and the reach disparity is even wider. But Atlas was quick to note that size alone doesn't decide a fight. He emphasized the difference in experience, skill, and ring IQ, areas where Tank clearly has the edge. Atlas even joked that if Tank lands clean on Jake's chin with the kind of power he carries, Jake might just end up doing a little dance.
Fight, to be honest, Jake Paul has a lot of followings, a lot of guys that are going to come and watch, and that gives the opportunity for other fighters to be seen on those cards, you know. So a lot of people don't agree, but at the end of the day, for me, it's entertainment. And if we can take boxing to the next level and give other fighters opportunities to be displayed and for other people, YouTubers and all that, to be seen, and hopefully all the YouTubers and people there are just there.
That's the point many people keep coming back to. Jake might be the bigger man, but Tank punches like a freight train. And it's not just raw power. It's the timing, precision, and shot placement that make the difference. When you factor in that Tank is used to facing quicker, more technically polished opponents than Jake, that supposed size advantage starts to fade. As Teddy Atlas reminded fans, boxing history is filled with moments where the smaller fighter took apart the bigger one. Size can help, sure, but it's never been the deciding factor when real skill and composure step into the ring.
He ain't gonna fight back. He said, so I say, you gotta take him serious. You get what I'm saying? Because he talked about, he had you on a hit list before this fight even happened. So his mental is on you. So you have to take him serious.
Still, there's an ongoing debate about whether Jake's physicality could pose real problems. After all, Jake Paul is a cruiserweight. He's accustomed to throwing big, heavy shots, even if they come a bit slower. Tank, on the other hand, operates on a completely different rhythm, built around speed, angles, and reading opponents who know how to move. The two are fighting on entirely different gears.
He's a marketing genius, but when it comes to people that pick and lose fights, I can't get my head around it. If Tank hits him clean, he's going to sleep. He'll have a lot of smoke blowing up his backside by his coaching team and people like that, but when he gets hit for real, 10 ounce, well, I'm told it's 16 ounce gloves now, it's like an exhibition. Right. I'm told it's big gloves and head guards. He's gonna...
Atlas even pointed to past examples where smaller champions stunned much bigger opponents, like Terrence Crawford's dominant showing against Canelo Alvarez. But he also made it clear that Tank's situation is different. This isn't a sanctioned title fight with weight classes to keep things even, it's an exhibition. And that alone changes the entire dynamic of what fans can expect once the bell rings.
I think that it's fair to call them boxers now. We talk about Logan brothers.
I think it's okay to call Jake Paul a boxer. The only reason why I say that is because he do be in the gym. He's working on stuff. The fight that he fought Mike Tyson, I don't think he should have fought Mike Tyson because of who Mike Tyson is and the age. And he said that he didn't try to knock him out. Yes, you did. You just couldn't.
The Florida Athletic Commission has now released all the official details. The bout is set for 10 rounds, 3 minutes each, using 12-ounce gloves, and yes, knockouts will be allowed, even though the result won't count toward either fighter's record. What's even more interesting is that the fight will be scored by 2 human judges and 1 AI system to add a modern twist. There won't be an official winner announced, but everything else, the format, the intensity, the setup, mirrors a real fight. The only difference is that it's labeled an exhibition for safety and regulatory reasons, which is exactly why some fighters are feeling mixed about it.
Tank is not the guy that knows how to sell a fight. Tank cannot sell a fight in his own division. You have the Paul brothers and they come over to boxing. Their idea from day one is we don't have the skills or the experience. What we're gonna do is we'll take on the absolute best guys, but they're gonna spot us some pounds. Tank has one job to do, that it doesn't make any difference, that boxing is a real sport. My skills versus your skill, of which I am an abundance of and of.
Commission made it clear. The match will be officially listed in the National Registry as an exhibition, meaning it won't affect either fighter's professional record. But at the same time, knockouts and technical knockouts will still stop the fight, just like in a sanctioned bout. So in truth, it's only an exhibition on paper. Once that bell rings, it becomes a real fight, and with real punches, real danger, and real consequences.
Tank looked very uncomfortable facing off. He just did. I've seen other face-off this Tank done. He gets in their face and they're intense and he looks good. He looked very meager up there. You've had 8 fights and you're gonna go tangle with Tank Davis. And the story instantly comes out. Jake is so much bigger. There is such a compliment to Jake within that insult. It is meant to be an—
Commission has made it clear, this bout will officially be logged in the National Registry as an exhibition, meaning it won't touch either fighter's professional record. But here's the catch. Knockouts and technical knockouts will still end the fight, just like in a sanctioned match. So really, it's only an exhibition on paper. Because once that bell rings, it's as real as it gets. Real punches, real pressure, and real consequences.
Jake Paul versus Tank Davis. They just announced the fight. What's your instant reaction to that?
I don't know what's going to happen with a 135-pounder going up against a 200-pounder. I think it's not a real fight. Jake just too big. Tank ain't gonna be able to get in from that jab. Jake land one good punch on Tank, it's over.
To know in some things, I think Gervonta's just gonna stick and move. He'll be fast, play it smart, I don't see him staying still for too long so Jake can land some shots. He'll just try to touch him. Who knows, man? It's an exhibition. It's a money grab.
This face-off, Henry. What are your thoughts?
You're hearing that shit from me. That's cringe. In some weird way, I kind of like
cringe about it.
He's trying to big man the smaller guy, who the smaller guy to me is dangerous. I think Tank Davis is going to put the hands on him, but I like it, bro. I will say something about Jake Paul. He's brought a lot of attention to boxing. Tank Davis guaranteed $40 million.
If you were in that position, would you fight Jake Paul?
Boxing has gone too far. Jake Paul is taking on Gervonta Tank Davis in an exhibition bout this November. The fight will be taking place in Atlanta between the cruiserweight and the 135-pounder, nearly a 100-pound difference between the two guys. This is absolutely insane. Let me know what you guys think about this in the comments down below.
What do you think of that?
I think that's terrible.
Why?
I mean, I get it, because at the end of the day, it's the money business, and you want to make the most money, but from what I'm hearing, he can make more money in a fight with me, and if that's the case, why not fight me?
Sure. Do you think he beats Jake Paul?
Do I think he beats Jake? Yeah. I mean,
there's a huge size advantage, though.
It is, but I think Tank got the skills to.
It's kind of weird, because Jake Paul is extremely bigger than Tank, and I mean, but with it being a exhibition, makes sense. It's fine. He got a big name that he's going to be fighting, but I mean, it really makes no sense because he weighs